Hi everyone. Today I am going to be doing this picture. It's from Mein Spaziergang Durch, die Jahreszeiten, so my walk through the seasons by Rita Berman. And she's got this lovely double page spread with, we have daffodils and we have Easter eggs. And I thought it might be a fun one to do. We're not quite at Easter yet, but I figure a lot of people might want to start doing this page. Now I'm going to do just the daffodils, or some daffodils today, and the Easter eggs on another day. I'm just going to keep them quite short. I'm not going to do all of the page, excuse me. So these two daffodils here are very similar. And the ones that are front facing, which the rest are also very similar. So I thought it might just be useful to do maybe these daffodils here, and then you could use the same method for the rest, or else it's going to be, I'm going to do them all the same. So I think it would be too dull to not do it that way. And then the eggs, I'm not sure, we may do them, may do a few. I haven't thought about that beyond the daffodils really. So I thought I would do these two. I need to get a piece of paper actually to slip behind the page. 1 minute. Sorry, I probably should have stopped the video while I did that. I just used a piece of plain printer paper and just to make sure there's no transfer of ink or anything between the pages. And then when I'm done, once it gets a bit grubby around the edges and things, I use it for something else, a shopping list or something like that. I'm going to zoom quite far in to do the flower heads, and I actually, how much I do just depends on how long it all takes really. Yellows I find a little tricky, so we'll see. I decided to use Black Widow pencils just because I haven't used them for a while. I just fancied using them, and I think they've got quite a good range of the sorts of colours that I thought I might be using. Yellows are not my friends really. I'm not brilliant at using yellow, but we're going to have a go and see what happens. Now my decision was to make the trumpet in orange and then the petals in yellow. I thought that would be easier for me, which is why I've chosen it. There's no other reason. Now I'm going to try to see, I've got Black Widow Cobra and the Black Widow spider sets. I was thinking it might be easier if I stuck to one set, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because of the range of colours that I need. So I'm just looking, you see we've got these really pretty, but I think that orange is a bit too bright, so I'm tempted to use these two. And we've got the egg yolk and the nugget from the, and they're from different sets. The Cobra set, this lighter golder set, and the spider set are the red ones. I might use a little bit of this one as well actually, which is the sunset. It's really vibrant, but I think if I use a little bit first, and that should work. Now with our trumpet here, we've got these little bits inside it, and I'm going to do those a paler colour. So I'm just looking actually, what have we got? I think I may do them in this banana colour. I'm just going to sharpen my banana colour. And I'm going to try this. So we're going to use the bananas from the spider set. So this is quite a mid-yellow, vibrant, I would say like a cadmium yellow, something like that. So that's what I would use. Your sort of mid-bright yellow, not an orangey yellow, not a lemon yellow, just a normal yellow. So that's that one. And then I'm going to use my sort of orangey yellow. It's actually quite orange, to be honest. This is the sunset. And I'm going to use this in a few areas. Actually, I've forgotten this one. I'm just going to do the banana on this one as well. Like that. We're sort of looking face on. So these are the seeds. A little bit different, looking face on. I like it that way, to be honest. But, you know. So, sorry, back to the sunset. And thinking about where it's going to be a little bit darker. I'm thinking here. So it's quite orangey, isn't it? We'll just put on a light layer like that, just as a base, and inside here I'm thinking it's going to be darker around this edge where there's a bit of shadow. Excuse me, I've got a frog, I need my coffee. I've got a coffee, it's a bit hot. I thought I would make the video first. So putting a little bit more in there because there'll be more shadow. We will be going over it though. Now on this one, I was sort of thinking it would probably be darker in the middle where it's deeper, but it's easier to make it darker on the outside, I think. That's what I'm going to do. Then trying to find the middle. I think it'll work. Now on the petals of this one, we've got these sort of loops. I can't speak. Sort of tear shapes, and I'm probably going to ignore them, to be honest. We haven't got them. We've got them on one other. You could make them a little bit darker as if they were folds in the petal. I might do that. I don't know. So that's actually quite dark, isn't it? But there we go. So that's the sunset, and we're going to move to a slightly lighter colour. I'm going to just scribble these. Bear with me because I can't work out which is darker. That's very... Gosh, they're quite close in colour. But this one is slightly darker. This is the Nugget. And we're going to go over the top of the orange, and it will make it slightly paler, which is fine. And bring that colour down the trumpet. Like that. Leaving some space because we've got one more colour. Here I'm not so worried about leaving too much space. I'm going to bring that colour quite a long way along. I think it might not blend in too well. We may need to... Excuse me, there's nothing wrong with me apart from a bit of a frog. As I say, I need my coffee. I don't know what's going on. So take that nearly to the tip, I'm thinking. And on this one, going over the orange, just taking it further to the middle. Now with others, you can see this one, for example, do it in the same way. And this one too, we've got a sort of double layer here. I'd probably make that the inside and do that double layer in the colour I'm going to do this. And we'll show you once we get there. So I'm just trying to take that colour a little further in, blend it round, and just go over the top of the orange. It's not quite so defined, but that's fine, like that. And then the egg yolk is not that different in colour, actually. Oh, you can't see that. There we go. Shine it into the light. So we're going to use it anyway, even though it's not massively different. And again, I'm just going to go over all of it. I just want to give the chance to tone down this orange a little bit. But you don't need to tone it down too much. And then take the colour right to the tip. Not this wiggly edge. The wiggly edge is sort of like a bit that's sticking out, I guess. So we're going to do that a little bit lighter, like we will this circle. And you'll see. Actually, there's not much difference between those two. You can see that now. So this will be like a very dark orangey yellow. And here we're just going to take that right through to the middle of the flower. So there is our main part of the trumpet. This edge bit we're going to do later. So those are those colours. Now we're going to choose some yellows for the petals. And let's see what we've got. We have a mustard, which is quite a browny dark yellow. And we have the banana that we used earlier. And a lemonade. I think those are the ones I'm going to use. I'll show you the tips so you can see them. So we've got the browny yellow, a darker yellow and a lighter yellow. Okay, So we're going to start with the mustard, which is our darkest, and use it in the places where we feel it's going to be darker. So I feel near to the centre. Now I'm not looking at a daffodil to see exactly if I'm doing it correctly, but I think that's okay. I had some daffodils actually in the house just earlier in the week. They went over. I think they actually ran out of water because I realised after the vase that they were in had a strange line on the edge of it, just in the glass, and it looked like that was the water line, and it wasn't. I think they drunk it all. So I need to be a bit more wary when I'm using that vase in future. But they were very pretty. They'd been picked out of my father-in-law's garden. My husband popped over to see him briefly. He had to go and collect something, and he gave him the daffodils. Now I'm thinking if we could put this darker colour into these bits. If you wanted, you could get rid of these. You could use a little bit of white pen over them, a white paint pen I mean, or even white pencil might dull them back a bit. It's quite difficult though then to colour over white pencil. But I'm going to sort of treat them as if they're folds in the petal, and so there's a sort of shadow in them. But I'm also going to put some of this darker colour at the bottom of each petal anyway, just the same as I did on this one. Just a touch at the bottom. Now this isn't a nice vibrant shiny energizing yellow like daffodils are, but it's okay. And you can use this method for any daffodil. Here's our banana colour. Johanna Basford has one in Worlds of Flowers on one of her floral wreaths. I'm going right over the top of all of that to make it much more vibrant. Can you see the difference? Much nicer. And fading it quite near the tip. We've got our one last colour to go. But I don't think Johanna Basford's got, maybe just one or two. I did put one into an enchanted forest picture that I traced out of one of her books. But she doesn't have an awful lot, but I'm sure other books have plenty. But you can use this sort of method for any flower that obviously most of them don't have a sort of trumpet. It's quite unusual, isn't it? Most flowers don't have that. There's quite a lot of daffodils in this actual book, and I don't know if there's any in Rita's other books. In her Lander, I have a feeling there is. I've got to have a little look through that because her spring pictures are so nice. I want to do a few coming up to sort of Easter. It's nice. I mean, obviously we've got Easter eggs here in this one as well, so that's fun. I love this vibrant yellow. Do you? It's gorgeous. And do the same here. And just bring the colour towards the tip. I may have to make some videos in the Easter holidays with the children here, which could be an interesting experiment. My one son, well, I'm a little bit nervous because they sometimes have a tendency to swear. They're teenagers. Their father swears quite a lot. To be honest, swearing in private in the house, it doesn't worry me too much. I don't get offended, but I get embarrassed. So if we're out and about, I don't like it. And they're usually good, the boys, the children. They don't. I'm sure they do at college all the time. They're that age, but not when we're out very much. Occasionally Sam slips up when he's in front of his grandparents. Oops. But they're pretty good. And actually when they first started swearing, I picked it up as well, and I started swearing, and but I've stopped now. I don't like it, but sometimes it just slips in. We have a lemonade, and we're going to finish everything with this, and you'll see. So we're going to go to the tip of the leaf here. I'm not going to go over most of that because I like that lovely warm vibrancy. We're going to put a bit on those overturned leaves, and they just look a little bit different then. Now if you look at a daffodil, you'll see that the shadows on the daffodil are quite grey, particularly on a pale leafed daffodil. And so along here where this overlap is, where there will be a shadow here, it would be in grey, and there might be grey along these lines and things like that. But I don't want to do that because I love this yellow, vibrant yellow. I'm not very good at doing yellow, but I'm not sure what this is. I think it's just the back of the petal. I'm just going to do it in this lighter colour. They just say that it looks different. So although I'm not very confident using yellow, this beautiful vibrant yellow, it's I'm really enjoying using it, and I don't want to put grey on top of it. So we'll you see I'm doing this edge. So yeah, I'm going to sort of ignore the fact that it should have shadow and just leave it. I think it's looking, I don't think it needs it. We don't need everything to look really realistic, you know, it can just look vibrant and warm, and yeah, that's fine. Now you can get daffodils in other colours. I don't know if it depends on where you are in the world. In the UK, sometimes they're white, these main petals, and I think they're really pretty, but I wouldn't want to try and colour a white flower. I haven't mastered that yet. I realised that you use a combination of very pale greens and greys and things like that. But oh, I'm colouring the bird's beak. Whoops. Oh well, I'm going to leave that now. Don't do that. Sorry, little bird. Maybe he wants to be yellow. Don't know. I'll erase that in a minute. Actually, I'll do that now while I remember, because I can't even see it because it's pale. But if I try and colour over it, it's going to be difficult if there's a base layer of yellow, isn't it? There you are, little bird. I hope that eraser doesn't tickle. He's a cutie. Anyway, well, what was I saying? Oh, I just don't know what I was talking about. Yellow, wasn't I? And daffodils and greys and blah. But anyway, there we go. And what I'm going to do is these ones I'm going to go over with this, because I think they're looking a little bit almost peachy coloured. I want them to look more vibrant, and they still look different to the rest, which is good. There, so there are flowers. That's how I'm going to do all of them. As I say, they're all very similar, so I'm not going to show you every single one, but we are going to do some of the greenery, so you can have a look at how I'm going to do that. Just going outwards a little bit because we need to see a whole sort of stalk. And I'm looking at my greens. Now the greens in the Black Widow, some of them are really vibrant, excuse me, bluey greens. I don't want those really. Well, some of them are sort of, yeah, almost luminous. I mean, look at that. It's almost glowing, so neon-y. And then some of them are bluey. I've got my green and my blue round the wrong. I've got my greens and blues mixed up in this set. I don't know about. So there are these two. Quite short, aren't they? That's the fan green and the toxic green. I think they might be a little bit dark, some of them. We've also got a very dark forest green from the Cobra set. And the light ones are all a little bit bright and garish, apart from this very nice one, which is the Cobra. I think what I'm going to do is use the Cobra. I'm just going to sharpen it a tad, and then put some of the darker green in it. So this Cobra one is from the Cobra set. I guess that's obvious. And we will do, which one's in shot? This one. So I'm going to put a covering of this Cobra across the whole leaf. Now you can see it's quite a yellowy green. It's not really the right colour, but I'm hoping that if we blend it with some of these slightly more bluey greens, it's going to work. So we'll see what happens. A bit of an experiment. So as I say, I haven't quite got the right green. I'm just trying to just do that stem. It doesn't matter if you overlap. They're all going to be the same sort of colour. So I am next going to go with my next lightest which I think is the toxic green. Oops, there we go. And I'm just going to put a little layer on top. It's a pity the Black Widow don't do, you can see how vibrant it is, that they don't do a set of, don't do any open stock pencils, because some of these are getting quite short, and but some of them aren't. I use the greens more than the others, which when you do a lot of botanical colouring like I do, that's what happens. You can see that's quite vibrant. They're sort of mixing together a bit. I'm just trying to check which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. What I'm going to do now is use the I'm going to use the forest to do a little bit of the shading that I want. So down here where it overlaps, I want to put in a little bit of darker colouring. So coming up from the bottom a little bit too, and up there. And this tones it down somewhat as well. And also here, look, we've got a bit of an overlap there. There might be a little bit of a shadow. And in here, thinking that could all be quite dark. I'd also quite keen on going just over the edge a bit with the green. It sort of slightly hides that black line. That's a really thick black line on that one, isn't it? That's okay. A little bit there. And then I'm going to use the one I showed you earlier that was really fluorescent, Cicada. And I'm going to put a gentle layer on top just to try and blend it all together really. And it's quite bright, and I knew that's what was going to happen. But rather nice. Anyway. It's really sunny today. It's a nice day to be colouring daffodils. So I'm happy with that colour. Just trying to blend that in a little bit better. There we go. So I'm just going to sweep that a little bit because it's got a few bits. There we are. I'm just checking. I've missed a bit here on my daffodil. There. It looks like. I always find yellow so difficult to see. But there we are. I think that is us done. So that is my basic for daffodils. I'm not going to do any more video for you with regards to daffodils. I think you can do the rest just based on that. You can keep re-watching. What I would do if I was you was go back, start again if you're going to colour them. And where I start with the orange, when I show you how to do it, watch that little bit, pause it and do all your orange. Sunset, wasn't it? Then watch the next bit, pause it and do all the next colour and work through like that in little steps. And you'll soon be through the page and it should look good, hopefully. I mean, you might be even, well, hopefully you're better at yellow than I am. I'm not brilliant. So that's all the daffodils. And then we have the Easter eggs and pebbles to have a think about later. But I think I'm not going to go away and do all my daffodils now. I'm going to go away and do some Easter eggs for you. Just because it's going to take me too long to do daffodils. It's Friday. I'm going to do those over the weekend. It'll be a really fun weekend project for me. And I'll show you some of my ideas for Easter eggs, and you can decide what you might want to do with yours. But thank you for watching. So tune in tomorrow for the eggs, and please have a lovely day. Enjoy the spring. If you're in that part of the world, of course, you might be in Australia. Enjoy the autumn. Anyway, happy colouring.